And happy Pine Tar Baseball Release Day. At long last, the 1972 Pine Tar Baseball set is available for you to purchase. I have put contact information for me to get the set below this post. And I hope that this video will get you excited about the 1972 baseball season and getting Pine Tar Baseball back on your tabletop. If you have not been to the Facebook site lately, the second thing that we did today was to post the 1986 Boston Red Sox, the American League champions from 1986. They are free for you to download on the Facebook page, or if you follow my email below, I will be happy to email it to you if you would prefer that I do that. So lots of stuff going on for Pine Tar Baseball today. But first, a few minutes about the 1972 set. As I said, it releases today in PDF form. There will be a release of sheets coming up in April. However, if you buy the PDF today, I send you a code for a $5 discount on a future purchase of any one of the three upcoming sets. Today is 1972 season in PDF form. On March 1st, we have the Great Teams of the 20th Century set coming, which features at least one great team from each decade of the 20th century. In PDF form, that's March 1st. And then on April 1st, it's the Negro Leagues Franchise All-Stars. 12 Negro Leagues franchises, greatest players from throughout their franchise histories on each of those teams. That's in PDF format on April 1st. And then on April 15th, we're celebrating Tax Day with the release of sheets of all three sets. 72, the Great Teams of the 20th Century, and the Negro Leagues Franchise All-Stars. The $5 discount code that you get if you buy the 1972 PDF today can be applied to any of those future purchases. So it's an exciting time to be in Pine Tar Baseball. Also, if you don't have the instructions for Pine Tar Baseball, we will send you those for free just for asking. So I'd be happy to include those as well. Or if you just want to look those over before you make any purchase, email me at that email below, and I will be happy to send them to you as well. So it's a great time to get involved in Pine Tar if you have not, or if you've already been involved in Pine Tar, why, it's a great time to add to your collection. This is an exciting time. We're close to spring training, if they can get their labor problems resolved, and close, hopefully, to a brand new season. But now I want to spend a few minutes talking about the 1972 set that releases today and can be in your inbox today as well. I did the research and the carding for this set. And I want to tell you about how I did that. First of all, Pine Tar Baseball is data-driven. We use Baseball Reference mostly for the information that we need to create the cards. But when I make a set for Pine Tar, what I do is a lot of reading beforehand, before I look at the data, to get some context, to get some background. And 1972 was about a year before I started reading the sports page. So I did a little bit of research to get familiar with it and to learn a little bit more about it. And I start all the time with all my research with the Bill James Historical Baseball Abstract. So I started here to get a refresher on 1972. But then, of course, that's not enough. I reread this book, which is the Cord Communications Major League Baseball Guide for 1973, which includes all of the 1972 stats, plus sort of a narrative of each team's strengths and weaknesses, going into the 73 season after 1972 was done. So I looked that over, read that again. I had this when I was a boy, actually, and had to reread it, jogged some memories. And then this, the Illustrated Digest of Baseball, the 1973 edition, which covers 1972 as well. This goes into the teams and has some thumbnail descriptions of the individual players as well. And then I also read this book, the 1972 Tigers, the Billy Martin and the Half Game Champs, because 1972 was a year with labor trouble as well. And as it turns out, the schedule was an unbalanced and uneven one. And the Tigers were able to pull off the 1972 Eastern League Championship, Eastern Division Championship for the American League by a half game over the Boston Red Sox. The playoff picture for 1972, of course, just had 4 teams. The Pittsburgh Pirates were the National League East champions, featuring Roberto Clemente's last season. They took on the 1972 Cincinnati Reds, winners of the National League West. And the Reds won that National League Championship Series in 5 games, 5 very close, very competitive games. And in the American League, the Oakland A's defeated the Chicago White Sox for the American League West Championship. And the Tigers defeated the Red Sox for the American League East Championship. They met in the playoffs, and in 5 very close competitive games, the A's won the American League pennant. So it was the A's and the Reds for the World Series, and in 7 games, the A's were able to emerge victorious, even without the injured Reggie Jackson, who pulled his hamstring in the 1972 American League Championship Series and was disabled for the World Series. So it was Dick Williams versus Sparky Anderson in the 1972 World Series. There are a host of fantastic players that were active in 1972, including players on the National League side like MVP Johnny Bench. I already mentioned Roberto Clemente. Willie Stargell, Willie Mays, Willie McCovey, Hank Aaron, and Billy Williams were all huge stars in the National League side. Steve Carlton was a 27-10 winner, 27 game winner and 10 losses on his ledger for the Philadelphia Phillies, had his best season and was a truly amazing pitcher, and has created the need for an additional optional rule for this season's Pine Tar set, and that is the one re-roll for Carlton for any non-strikeout at bat during any of his starts. So he gets one re-roll to try and help him maintain that dominant status as an optional rule, and that's written out in the instructions for the set. On the American League side, Gaylord Perry was the Cy Young Award winner for the Cleveland Indians. The MVP for the American League was Dick Allen of the Chicago White Sox, a team that burst onto the scene and nearly stole the division championship from the Oakland A's. Huge stars on the American League side include Dick Allen and Reggie Jackson, as I've already said, but veteran stars like Carl Yastrzemski, Al Kaline, Louis Tiant, Bobby Mercer for the Yankees, and even other stars like Jim Palmer and Brooks Robinson for the Orioles were still excellent players and very active in 72 as well. Something else happened in 72 that is kind of interesting, and that is that the runs scored differential between the American League and the National League created quite a division by half a run per game between the two leagues. And what that led to is that the National League, by outscoring the American League by half a run per game, led to the American League consideration of and eventual adoption of the designated hitter in time for the 1973 season. In fact, if you read these books that I referenced earlier, they're calling it the designated pinch hitter. They're not even calling it the DH or the designated hitter purely at this point as they were getting ready for the 73 season. So it's an interesting point in baseball history. So there's a lot of interesting players and matchups. There's also some historically bad teams in 1972 that are a lot of fun on the Pine Tar table, one of which is the Texas Rangers, who not only were bad on the mound and had trouble scoring runs, but they even traded their number one offensive threat, Frank Howard, to the Tigers late in the season, and so that disabled even more of their offense. And on the National League side, the team that really jumps out as an awful, awful ball club is Don Zimmer's San Diego Padres. Wow. So matching those two teams head-to-head for some interleague play might be very entertaining. So between the amazing pennant races, the great World Series that I think a lot of people forget about, and the vast array of stars, and there's a bunch that I haven't even mentioned in this set, like Nolan Ryan, Tom Seaver, Fergie Jenkins, Bob Gibson, the recreation of a very entertaining and star-packed 1972 All-Star Game in Atlanta, which you can check out on YouTube as well. There's a lot of possibilities for this set. 27 players per team, 3 sheets carded per team, 3 sheets of 9 players. The one-run strategies for Pine Tar managers would be especially important if you're an American League manager to try and get those precious runs across home plate. A little less important in the National League, where they scored a little bit more frequently, but a very interesting set. I learned a lot by creating the set about these cards and about these players, and I think you will too by checking out the 1972 Pine Tar baseball set, available now. Follow this link to my email, and I will send you all of the information that you need, including the free set of 1986 Boston Red Sox American League pennant winners, just for the asking. So thanks much. I'm going to be running on my YouTube channel in the next few days some 1972 Pine Tar baseball games, so you can see the cards in action. Hope you'll look out for those, and I hope you subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much. Hope you have a good day. So long, everybody.